the side of, like, including many of these are fighting that there could and most likely will be another Holocaust. So, well, first off, the racism in this world could cause some sort of war. I mean, it's not definite that that will be the cause, but I mean, every day people walk into town, like there's things like, I know this is horrible, but there's things like the KKK, which is just the worst thing in the world, but still, it can cause some sort of war. And also, and people say that human nature has changed, but has it really? Like, think about the wars in Israel and Pakistan. I mean, like, if human nature has changed, why is that happening? Can anybody tell me that? And also, according to debate.org, it's already happening slowly, and neo-Nazis are on the rise, and that they are in the threat for people in Europe. And also, the Holocaust is like a train. When you get on it, you can't get off until it stops. Also, according to holocausthistory.org, the reason Hitler focused on the Jews was because he thought that the Jews were the reason that they lost the war in World War I, and that the Jews sort of backstabbed them, and that's why they lost the war, and that's why Hitler focused on the Jews. What if some countries have, like, some sort of bad history with another country? How do we know that won't start another Holocaust? And also, with people bombing each other, I doubt that people are just gonna keep it inside them and be like, oh, they're just angry, we're not gonna fight back. Because that's their country and their people. They're obviously gonna do something about it. And anger is something that stays in you. It never goes. And you always want revenge for something. It's never going to go away until you do something about it, whether it's violence or talking it out. And violence, honestly, to most people is the most juicy way of getting revenge, because, yeah, like, to some people it just feels so good for them. And also, there's people like Hitler. Like, when people say there's no one left like Hitler, that makes no sense. There are still psychopaths out there that could start another Holocaust.
Saying that there could not be another Holocaust because Adolf Hitler is gone, and of course there are psycho people out there, but they might not have enough power to do this kind of stuff. And there could not be another Holocaust because there's more acceptance and tolerance in this world than there was hundreds of years ago. Plus, I don't think that the government would let such a thing happen. Anything is possible, and there could be another one, or not, because there are bad people, but according to Wikipedia, one after the other has been happening, but nothing has happened ever since. And also, the people who are bad actually do not have enough power to do this. Why, instead of executing people and telling them to get out, why couldn't they just chase them out? But no, they execute people. And I can answer you that. Probably because they have different beliefs, and they have their beliefs in their own country. And plus, for example, Germany, they thought that Germany was taking over their country, but instead of chasing them out, they executed them, because they were all taught to learn that the Jews were evil, and that they thought that they killed Jesus. But that was hundreds of years before we were even created, and people have changed. Like, for example, charities and sponsors have been happening around the world to have a difference. Yes, there's war going on, but why can we solve our problems, but our leaders can't? Well, we have new leaders now, and they have made a difference in our lives. And people are starting to get their say, and I'm sure that no family or person would want to execute someone just to have more land or because of their own beliefs. And that's why there could not be another Holocaust. Yes, there could be another one, but I don't think so. Because the Holocaust started in 1933 when Adolf Hitler came to power in Germany, and it ended in 1949. And according to my research, some people say the Holocaust didn't even happen on, or it will never happen again. Because all of the Holocaust had been started when we were united as one, or didn't agree to our leaders' opinions, or in wars. And maybe it all changed, like they say. Yesterday was in the past, but today is another day. Meaning the Holocaust was in the past, and now is now. Of course, there's incredible results that it could happen, but I think it won't, because that was their generation. Now it's ours. And so far, we can make the future more better if we learn what's in the past. If we leave what's in the past and start again. Because at the end, it always ends. In all stories, and I'm 99.9% sure that our leaders will support what we think is right and never let such a thing or a high number of people take it on when it's our problem. Thank you.
It could be another Holocaust. Human nature hasn't changed, and that doesn't mean that there won't be another Holocaust. That will mean that there could be another one. People aren't having enough power, as you said, but that might not stop them. And Wikipedia is not a reliable source. The technology has been upgraded since World War I and World War II, so it will be much easier to, wipe out another country. Racism is something that might actually start it because it happens every day in our lives, and we can't stop it or anything to do with Jesus. So Jews and German won't really have anything to fight about there. And it's hard to start the Holocaust again because, it'll be actually easier because we've got more stuff, more reliable things that can blow up the world, like nuclear bombs, which will radiate the world basically. And
Hold on.
Where we think there won't be another Holocaust. About 4 million kids got killed, and there were out of 6 million who were killed by the Holocaust. They were leaded by Adolf Hitler, but no one is as bad as Hitler. And if there is, they're already in jail from their bad deeds. It was in World War II. There were lots of concentration camps and lots of people got killed. People remember how bad it was, and they will pass it through generations and generations. E.g. buttons. They got a button for every single person that had died. There were lots of innocent lives taken, and there are nuclear bombs and better weapons now, but everyone is too scared to fire them because it might take the whole world out. The only person that is stupid enough to fire one is Hitler. Even though lots of people were killed and there's been lots of war, I still think there won't be another Holocaust. People will pass their bad memories about the Holocaust through generations and generations.
There will be another Holocaust because most people get into fights all the time, and one person never agrees with another person, and then every day there's a fight going on around the world. But we don't know. There probably is going to happen every day. He's somewhere on the other side of the world. Plus kids don't know what they're getting into, so they don't know what's going to happen. And so they just think it, they just think that they won't get attacked or anything. But they don't know what's going to happen. Only the adults know. I rest my case.
There will not be another Holocaust. The Holocaust was more than 80 years ago. We're a little bit more peaceful now. The government would most likely not want that to happen because that means their country would be in risk. It took the lives of many, and about 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust, and that is very bad. Some of the stuff that they did in the Holocaust or in World War II is kind of illegal now, but still we've got more powerful weapons, but what would that do? Why do you think we're having Peace Week? To make peace, of course. When I looked up Holocaust, there were about 14 pages of the websites to choose. And I think they wouldn't forget about it if it's all on the internet. Just think, if we dropped a nuclear bomb on New Zealand, it may kill John Key. And if it killed John Key, that would be our Prime Minister, and that will probably be a big risk for New Zealand and probably the half of the world as well. When you're a child in school, if you're bad, you get expelled. But in high school, you get expelled too. But when you finish high school and you could go to jail, but if you're a powerful enough person, they may not want you to go to jail. Just think of Hitler. He didn't go to jail, and he did a lot of bad things. War is just like a book. On the cover, it shows us how bad it was, but when we look on the inside, it gets even worse. Like Aaron said, people get into fights every day, but I'm sure the next day they would just forget about their problems. And who would wipe out another country? Yeah, but he's not now. Have you heard of the word? So I think when we think about Holocaust, it comes back to us and it's just a bad memory. And like, if it did happen again, half the world will be in risk, and if the half the world will be in risk, who knows what would happen because we have more powerful weapons. But let's just try and make it peaceful, and let's just say there probably won't be another Holocaust. Manuka, Frances-Rees.